In this video we have a live hypnotherapy session, so keep watching and enjoy the session. Just as a preamble before this hypnotherapy session starts, I want to give you some background. I'll put a link up to the interview I had with Bernie Allen where I explain how she selected this person. It was what we call a blind hypnotherapy session because I had no contact with Laura before that. I had no idea what we were going to work with until we met up live on Zoom, and this is a recording of the complete 40-minute session. As I explained to Bernie and in the previous video, she wanted me to do the session live during a half-hour show, and I told her that it might take an hour, might take 2 hours. I didn't know until I'd worked with the girl and met the girl to understand how long it was going to take. So for that reason we agreed to shoot it offline. Now if you watch the original video of the interview, there's a sort of 5-minute summary of how the process went, but this is the unabridged full 40-minute session, and there's about 6 or 7 minutes after that where we meet up 2 weeks later over Zoom again to see, well, how the session worked out and how the fear of spiders has been resolved. So please enjoy the video. Like I say, do watch right to the end, because after the 40-minute session there's a little meanwhile 2 weeks later. In the video it says we'll chat in a week's time to see how you're getting on, but that 1 week expanded into 2 weeks because, well, life got in the way between my appointments and her appointments. We couldn't meet up after the week, but we managed to meet up 2 weeks later. And what was nice was that gives a good amount of time for the suggestions of that she's no longer afraid of spiders to really embed in. I think you'll find this different. I hope you'll enjoy it. Please do give us a thumbs up. Make sure you give it as a like. And if you have any comments about this session, leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. And, well, if there's an interesting comment that deserves a new video, then I'll make a video just for you. Don't forget to click the big red subscribe button as well, so you get to see more videos from myself, and click the little grey notification bell button so you get notified every time a new video comes out from Feel Good Hypnosis. In the meantime, well, let's see how we get on with Laura. And as you can see in the 2 weeks later thing, in between the 2 weeks I had no contact with Laura, so I didn't know if it was a success. I didn't know if further work needed to be done. You can see that in my how to get on sort of look in my face. So please do enjoy the video, and like I say, leave comments if you have any comments about it. Here's the video. Before I forget. Right, so let's get the background to this. We haven't met before, and the only conversation we've had is to set a date.
Yeah.
Okay, and I just want to make sure I've covered off what Bernie's told you, in case she's told you anything different. I'm sure she has told you exactly what we've agreed. So Bernie and I are going to do a little half-hour interview about my hypnosis services, and she suggested, well, why don't you do live on air, as it were, helping someone out. And I explained that, well, I have done something as quick as 10 minutes, maybe even shorter. Sometimes it can take about an hour. Okay, so rather than be rude to yourself, the client in this case, and possibly say, right, well, our 10 minutes in the interview part is over, we'll have to go back to chatting about hypnosis. I want to devote time to making sure you got the change you wanted to get. Yeah.
Right.
So we agreed that we're going to do this in this manner. So we're going to record this offline, and if it's longer than the interview period, I'll do a little 4-minute summary, and maybe possibly give people the option of seeing the full thing on YouTube or somewhere else at a later date. So I want to make sure that you're aware that what we're going to do today is going to be broadcast.
Yeah.
Okay, now with a caveat that if for any reason at the end of this you say, you know what, I was fun, I feel better, I feel great, but I'd rather not, I'd rather keep it personal, I don't want it to be shared, it doesn't happen and we find someone else. Okay, so you and I are in total control as to whether this is broadcast. It's the same with me. You might feel great and you might say happy, but for one reason or another I might say, well, I'd rather not. Okay. So that's the basis that we're going forward, and I want to make sure that you're clear on that there. If for any reason you don't want this, because I do record when I'm working with people just so I can look back on what happened on that day. I record it. It means I'm taking as few notes as possible, and I'm focusing on the client, yourself in this case. But I never publish them. So this is a rarity for me to do some work. I say rarity. What I'll do from time to time, again, just to give you my background, is I would go to public events and I would talk for maybe half an hour and an hour on the subject. During that time, I'll say, right, does anybody want to change something that would like to change? Come up to the front and I'll do a live demo. So I would do that from time to time. And this is sort of more or less what we're trying to do here. But again, the other thing I want to emphasize is unless you don't want to work with me again, if this takes 3 or 4 sessions, you max, I usually work with someone is for about 3 sessions. A lot of time, I don't know if you've done any research. Did you look me up on YouTube at all? Did Bernie point any of my stuff? No. Okay, so you look at YouTube, it's almost bad marketing, but from time to time, you know, a lot of the videos up on YouTube are people that were sorted out in 1 session, which sort of gives me a bad reputation, believe it or not, because people come and if they don't find resolution in 1 session, they go, I'm not coming back, it didn't work. Sometimes it takes a couple of sessions. A lot of times it works in 1. So we're going for that magic 1 today, aren't we? But okay, if it doesn't, and if you're happy enough to keep working with it, you know, no cost or anything, we work until it's sorted. So that's okay. I want to get across to you, that this is not just for a bit of PR. This is about helping you and making sure you get the change you want. Okay, so I think that's all the main ground rules, the ground discussions that we had with Bernie. So yes, Bernie selected you, volunteered you.
Yeah.
So again, the important thing is that you want to change. You've got something about your life, a thought, a feeling that you're not happy with, and you want to change it. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
And what is that thought or feeling?
I'm afraid of spiders, and I know that it's completely daft, but I am.
Perfect. Number 1, you've said all the right things in that short sentence. Everybody says to me, I know it's silly, but. And the reason you say but is because consciously, you know they're domestic. Consciously, even the big ones aren't like the big tarantulas that you would see in Brazil or whatever.
Yeah.
So in this context, here, it's safe, but you still have those feelings. Oh, I'm going to make sure browsers are closed so I don't get any notifications. That's it. I'll even close down Outlook in case it pings as well. Apologies for this. So the problem with that is, and the good news is, it means you don't have a conscious problem. If you had a conscious problem, you would say what we just said consciously and say it's domestic, it won't hurt me. Problem's gone. The problem is that you've trained yourself. Okay, you weren't born this way. That's the good news. You weren't born this way. You weren't born with a fear of spiders, but somewhere along your lifetime, and it might be when you were young, or it might be last week, I don't know. But at some point, something happened and you went, oh, don't let me ever get into that situation again. Yeah. And your unconscious mind said, okay, I know what I'll do every time, and I'm guessing here because I haven't talked about your particular feelings, every time you even see a ball of fluff that might look like a spider, I'm going to give you these bad feelings and you're going to run away. And that way I'm protecting you. So what's happening to you is being done by your unconscious mind to protect you. So even though you consciously think, I'm over this now, you know, it was okay when I was 2 years old and I was about this high, you know, a spider was nearly as tall as me. Now that I'm this high, you know, I know I shouldn't be afraid, but I learned to say, give me these bad feelings. And the good thing about your unconscious mind is it sticks with it. I always say that the unconscious mind's a bit like a young, you know, 7 or 8 year old child. If you say to a 7-year-old child, you know, there's a big dragon out there with a big bag of sweets, the kid will go, where? You know, they won't question it. They'll just do it. So your unconscious mind doesn't question what you've told it. It just does it, and it does it for the rest of your life. So what we need to do is find a way, if only there was a way, maybe hypnosis, to just lift that barrier between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind and let those two work it out. To let your conscious mind say, hey unconscious mind, I know I was young and it was the right thing to do at the time when I was small, but I've grown, I'm taller, and I don't need to do it anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's about making you think differently, okay? So what I always do with clients is say, have you any concerns about hypnosis? Because we see a lot of things in Hollywood movies, you know,
No.
people, you know, doing crazy things, sinking into chairs or whatever, you know. So I want to make sure that you don't have any worries, because the key thing is, if you have any concerns, any worries about going into hypnosis, then your unconscious mind will go, you know, she's going to float off that chair. She goes into hypnosis, and I don't want to float off the chair. So I'll stay out of it. No matter what he says, I won't listen to it properly. I won't go into hypnosis. So to get this connection between your conscious and your unconscious mind, and this is something that you're going to do between yourself, per se, with my help. So it's not me fixing, you know, like the word F-I-X, fix, but it's you going to sort yourself out. You're going to change your mind by yourself with my help and hypnosis. Okay. So have you got any concerns about hypnosis?
No.
People say that. I still say a few things that people might be thinking, but they don't want to say it.
Like what?
Like what? Like a lot of people come to me and say, well, you know, I'd love to try hypnosis, but I don't want you being in control of me. Okay. So again, it's not about me taking control of you. You're going to be in control. If halfway through this, okay, so we're going to work on this fear of spiders today. If halfway through this, I was to say, now give me your PIN number, your brain would just go, what's that got to do with spiders? Okay, so your brain's not being taken offline and you can't think properly, okay?
Yeah.
You're always in control. So at any time that you don't want something to happen or don't want to say something, whether you're in that conscious or unconscious state, you're always in control. And that's an important thing to get across. I'm not taking control of you. When you see the movies, it's about this hypnotist is controlling someone else and they're powerless. It's not like that. You always have the power. You always have the control. Okay? Likewise, people say to me, oh, well, I mean, again, we're on Zoom these days, but I'll cover it off anyway. People say, well, you know, will I be feeling normal afterwards? Will I be able to drive? You know, and I say, you know, it's no different than, have you ever watched a movie and you're so engrossed in that movie that like the movie ends and the credits go up and you go, wow, where did the last hour and a half go? You ever had that experience? What you were doing, you were going into that hypnotic trance state to the point where you probably felt like that movie was real. You forgot there was a cameraman and a sound man and a grip holding the boom for the camera, the sound guy, and people with scripts in the background in case somebody forgot their lines. And when that little dog Marley died, you maybe cried. You know, even though you knew it was just an actor dog and that wasn't a real death, or you know, you get so engrossed in the movie you thought it was real. Okay, that's hypnosis. And at the end of that movie, were you able to go up and make a cup of tea or get in the car and drive? Yes. Okay. So hypnosis is a natural state. And again, another thing I tell people is you go into trance several times a day. About 8 or 9 times a day on average, people will trance out. Again, a typical example would be you're sitting at a computer working away and somebody calls your name. You go, what? And they go, where were you? I called your name 3 times. And they, oh, sorry, I was somewhere else there. Yeah, but you were sitting at the computer. Again, you tranced out. So it's a natural thing we all do. And when you come out of that state and you go, what? You didn't feel any different. You didn't feel like you'd been zoned out. You just, what? Oh, I'm somewhere else there. I don't know where it was. Yeah. So that's what hypnosis is. All I'm doing is focusing on you on that process right now rather than you doing it naturally. Okay. So does that prompt any other questions at all? That's the key things I want to get across, how it feels, how, you know, that you're always in control, because people get these misconceptions thanks to Hollywood.
No, it's fine.
Good stuff. So let's talk about, there we say it, the spider issue. Right. So how bad would you describe it?
I've got better as I've got older. When I used to live at home, when I used to live at home, I would have came home at night time and I would have been the only one in the house, like everyone was in bed. Yeah. And you were a cert to see a massive one in my mum's floor. And I mean, I would have said that I could hear my heart beating outside my body. I could actually see it moving.
Yeah.
Where to look. Like it would be that I could hear it in my ears. It's mad. But I think now, because I'm in my own house and there's other people here, I don't have the fear of the same, because I know there's always someone who's going to put it outside. Like I'm never on my own as such.
So if you were to think about it right now, coming home late at night when everyone was in bed and you opened the door, I don't know what room you would have seen it in. What room would it have been in? You would have seen it in the hallway or maybe in the kitchen.
The hallway.
The hallway, there you go. And I can feel that already, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you feel that now when you see that spider in the hallway?
I just get like shivers, and oh God, like.
And where do those shivers start?
Oh, it's nearly like here, down.
That's it. And it's here and it goes down. And where does it travel to?
It's like into your heart.
Into the heart.
Like
It starts here and goes down to your heart. And how does it recirculate? Because it stays there, isn't it? So it's alive, this feeling. So it's here and it goes into your heart. And does it circle? You know, I'll sort of stand this way. Does it circle this way? Or does it go back in here and down to your heart? In here, down to your heart. So it goes this way, or does it go that way?
That way, the way you done last.
This way. Okay. So we're going to start off with something very simple. And what we're doing is we're manipulating these feelings. So I want you to really imagine yourself there. Coming in, it's late at night and everyone's in bed. You open the door and bang, before you've even got into the house, you look down, there's that big spider. And you can feel that there now, can't you? And it's going down to your heart and it's circling up. So I want you to put your hands here and I want you to pull that feeling. In fact, before you do that, as you put your hands there and you feel that feeling, can you get that feeling there right in your neck there now? What color is that feeling? First thought comes to mind.
My first thought, hang on, I have to do it again.
That's it. You see that spider. It's late at night. There you go.
Oh, like black.
Black. Okay. Pull that black feeling out. Stretch it right out so it's outside of your body. You're holding it. There you go. Now I want you to open your hands up and look at that feeling now. And notice what color it is now that it's out there.
Still black.
It is still black. Good. We've got that feeling. Now I want you to notice that feeling has a movement. Okay. Now just check, is it still that sort of movement? Like it was coming this way, wasn't it? Just get a sense of that feeling as you look at that black feeling in your hands.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know which way it's moving. What I want you to do is actually, with your hands, change the direction. So it's moving in the opposite direction. And I want you to spin it faster and faster and faster. I want you to spin it so fast, if you were to let go, it would not spin back in the original direction. Do you get me? I want you to spin it so fast that if you were to let go, it would not go back in the original direction. And when you know it's spinning that fast, I want you to nod your head. Okay.
Right.
Slam it back in. Slam it back in. Let it wash all the way through you. All the way down. Right down from the head, right down to the tips of your toes. Let it bounce around. And feel the difference as that moves in a new direction, in a new way. And as it moves in a new direction, in a new way, and it has a new feeling, feel the difference it makes now. When you think about opening that door and seeing that spider. What's that like now?
I don't really feel anything yet. I don't feel any movement.
Maybe think of another time. Maybe you got into the house and this time you went into the kitchen and bang, there again, there was another spider. But notice what you notice when you think of that feeling spinning in the new direction.
No, I can't get the same feeling. It's just very faint.
Perfect. That's what we were sort of going for. Already in just a few minutes, that feeling's not the same feeling anymore. Okay? Because everything about that feeling had a property. And for you, it was the direction. Okay? So in your mind, you've now connected a new direction. So that feeling's no longer the same feeling. Now, it might be a small little bit still there, and we're going to work on that. But already, just thinking about that, with that new feeling that's spinning in a new direction, you no longer have the old feeling anymore. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And again, that's something you can practically teach to other people, to spin the feeling in a new direction. Okay. There's a few more bits to it, depending on what people's answers are there, but even just to try that out in the future, if you're talking to someone with a fear. Now, people say to me after this, well, does that mean I won't know what a spider looks like? You'll still know what a spider looks like. It's just you won't have those feelings that you used to have anymore. Yeah. So we'll do a bit of more formal hypnosis. Let me see, what else can we get? Is there any time where it would be better that you could look at a spider? I almost get the impression when you said if there's people around, it's not so bad.
Yeah. So, if it's encaged, it's okay.
It's encaged. Good stuff. And pictures on the TV and stuff. Sometimes I work with people, I can't even watch a TV program if there's going to be a spider on it.
Well, if somebody sends me, so I hate when people take a picture of a spider in their house and then they send it and say, look at the size of that. I would prefer they didn't do it, but okay. It doesn't, like I can still open it, I'll go, oh God, and I'll just close it down.
Yeah, good stuff. And again, this is what we do when I'm working with people where there's spider phobias or wasp phobias. It's not about changing them so they love it so much they want to go over and kiss it, especially with wasps. You don't want to run over and say, oh, I love wasps now. It's just about saying, I'm no longer getting that palpitation of the heart that it feels like my heart's outside my chest. Yeah.
What I would like, I avoid certain areas. So if I wanted to get something out of the garage and it was buried, I don't know, in a corner behind stuff, there's no hope I'm going to get that, because I know they're going to be in there. Like I know at certain times of the year, like probably from like August, September, like I'll be more cautious and more aware that that's when they're about more.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so you're at your computer. So you got a chair with a back to it, so you can sit back and just relax. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, and just describe. Are you left or right-handed?
Right.
Right-handed. Good stuff. So hypnosis is about just me talking to you and asking you to follow a few simple sets of instructions, okay, so that you get in a focused state of attention. And during that time, I might ask you questions and you can answer the questions, okay? So it's not like you're so zoned out you can't speak. And again, you're always in control. So if any instruction I give you and you think, I don't want to do that, don't do it, okay? But what I'm saying is, hopefully I'm going to ask you to do stuff that you're happy to do. And again, it's all about you being in control. At any time, if I was to say, give us your PIN number, you would pop out of it. Okay? Because your brain would just go, what's that got to do with spiders?
Okay.
So what I'm going to ask you to do is just put your hands so they're not interlocked, just on your lap. Sit back and be comfortable. Okay? And take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Take another deep breath in. And breathe out. And on the third deep breath in, just allow your eyes to close down now. There you go. Now I want you to relax. Don't worry about your whole body right now. Just focus all your attention on the muscles in your eyelids. Every muscle, every nerve, and every fiber in your eyelids, I just want those to feel totally relaxed now. That's it. I want them to feel like they're switched off, turned off, like a lamp, like a TV that has been switched off. There's no power, no energy in it. I want them to feel so relaxed. It's almost as if they're locked or glued stuck. Now there's no glue, there's no padlocks. But I want you to imagine that now, that they're so relaxed that they just will not open. And only when you know that they are so relaxed that they will not open, only then I want you to go ahead and test those eyelids and find they're beautifully relaxed and locked and stuck down. And you might want to move your eyebrows just to show me that you're testing. There you go. You're going to stop testing now and take that total feeling of relaxation that's in your eyelids and let it wash all the way through your body, through your chest, through your neck, through your face, through your shoulders, right down to the tips of your fingers, right through to your stomach, right down to the tips of your toes. Every muscle, every nerve, and every fiber in your body now, just allow them to just feel just as relaxed as those eyelids are now. There you go. Every muscle, every nerve, and every fiber now, feeling just as relaxed. And now that you feel so relaxed now, just as if there's a beautiful blanket of warm relaxation wrapped around you now, I want you to imagine now that you can relax your mind just as much as your body is relaxed right now. I want you to relax your mind just as much as your body is relaxed right now. And to do that, I'm going to ask you to, in a moment, not yet, but in a moment, I'm going to ask you to count down nice and slowly backwards from 100. I'm going to ask you to do it like this here. 100, and just think inside your head, deeper relaxed. 99, and deeper relaxed. And by the time you get to the number 96, you'll just relax those numbers just out of your mind. Just want that to happen, and know it can happen, and just let those numbers just fade away from you. So when you're ready, start counting out loud backwards slowly from 100.
100.
Feeling deeper relaxed now.
99.
Just letting that feeling of relaxation totally soak through your mind now, just as much as your body is relaxed right now.
98.
Just letting them start to fade away now. Just push those numbers away. Just want that to happen. That's it. Let them grow dim and distant now.
96.
That's it. Getting further and further away now. Push them away as your unconscious now just allows you to totally relax.
95.
That's it. Getting more dim, more distant. As your unconscious now really relaxes your mind inside.
94.
There you go. Drifting and sinking down even deeper still. That's right. There you go. As your unconscious now knows that there's a time to connect, to change, to improve your life. That's it. All gone now. Just nod your head when they're all gone. That's right. And now that your unconscious is present with us, to connect in a clearer way, in a more connected way with your conscious thoughts, conscious wants, I want your unconscious to go down to that deeper inner place of change, that place where real change happens inside you now. And it might be like imagining cutting through the layers of an onion. We never know how many layers there really are inside that onion, but we just go down to the unconscious, the super unconscious, the super wonderful unconscious now. So when you're down, right down in that deep inner place of change, just allow your head to nod that you're there. There you go. Way down, deeper and deeper relaxed. And the deeper you go, the more relaxed you feel. The more relaxed you feel, the deeper you go now. That's it. You're doing wonderfully. So now that we're in that place of change, I'm going to ask your unconscious mind just to imagine now, just imagine inside your mind that you're in a wonderful, beautiful cinema with nobody else in that cinema but yourself. And you have the choice of which chair you can sit in. So I just want you to move around that cinema, get comfortable with that wonderful plush seats in that cinema. When you find the seat that you want, just sit down and relax and nod your head when you're seated. That's right. That's it. You're doing great. So now I just want you to imagine now, just imagine that you can actually float out of your body. Float out of your body so you can see yourself down there, sitting in that seat, looking at that big screen with the movie about to start. I want you to see yourself, and as you see yourself down there, I want you to sort of almost float back into the projection room. I want you to float back into the projection room so that you're behind that little plexiglass clear screen where the image will be projected. And in there where you can see the controls, the stop button, the play button, the fast forward button, the fast rewind button, in the pause button. I want you to see all that controls inside that projection room. And just nod your head when you're there. That's it. That's great. And just allow all the sounds around you to help you absorb you into this feeling of relaxation now that you're in. That's great. So now that you're there, I just want you to imagine now, just imagine now that as you look down and see yourself down there in that chair, you hit the play button on the projector. And as you play that movie, you realize now that's a movie of a time way back in the past when you used to be afraid of spiders. And as that movie plays, you can see yourself watching that movie as it plays through that moment in time where you would come home. And as you come home, you would see yourself being afraid of spiders as you see that large spider in the hallway. But just keep focusing on that person down there in the cinema, watching that big screen as that movie plays. And just allow that movie to play all the way through. Let it play all the way through till it gets right to the end of that point where, well, the fear's over and you're snuggled up in bed and you've maybe even forgot about that instant on that night now. And when that movie's over, just nod your head. There you go. And as you're now safe and well past that event, what I want you to do now is look down at the controls, and I want you to see right at the end, past the pause button, there's another button marked BW, because that's the black and white button. So I want you to press that black and white button and hit play again. And this time you'll see the movie playing out, but this time there's no color. There's no vibrance to it. It's black and white. And already things have changed about that movie as you look at yourself down there in that cinema seat, seeing that movie play all the way through. And let it play through from that moment when you open that door, you see that spider, you get afraid, and then bang, the movie's over. And you're in that safe place now. So just nod your head when you're there. That's great. Now what I want you to do is something really special. What I want you to do is press a different button. This button is the fast rewind button. So I want you to press that fast rewind button, and you know what happens when that happens. Everything seems to speed up. But right now we're at the end of the tape. So when you press the fast rewind button, it sort of goes right back to the beginning in like 2 seconds. And in that time, you saw yourself getting out of that bed and walking backwards down the stairs and seeing that spider, and then walking out the door, and bang, you're back to that safe moment before it even started. And tell me, nod your head when you're there, back at the beginning. Perfect. So this time, press the fast forward button. So you're there in that safe place. You just got out of your car, just got up the front step. You open that door, and you're at the end already. Notice what it's like now. And this time, once again, press the fast rewind button. But I want you to turn that volume knob up, because that volume knob, what you didn't realize was there was a funny music, a bit like circus music. And feel and hear those sounds as you press the fast rewind button and you see yourself come down the stairs and you go and see the spider, and you at the door and you bang, you're that safe place right at the beginning with all that music playing. And you might even find yourself laughing at that movie now, as you can feel that sort of sense of relaxed calmness as you just enjoy the experience of seeing it with all that funny music and the rewinds happening inside your mind now. Feel what that's like now. And we're going to do that again. Let's press the fast forward button, and 2 seconds later we're at the bend. And you're back in bed and it's all nice and safe. and hit the rewind button for the last time. And again, turn that volume up even louder so you can smile even more. Bang, and you're back to the beginning. Back safe, outside the door, before anything's even happened now. And feel what it feels like to make that change. As you can see yourself down in that cinema, just being calm, being relaxed, watching that movie. And feel what it feels like just to feel calm with your heart placed right where it should be, in that caring, loving mode and position. So now that you see things differently, I want you to float out from where you are in that projection room, through that safety perspex glass. I want you to float into the movie so that you're part of that fun movie. So there you are inside the movie as you see yourself from the position of the screen now, just watching that movie, nice and calm and relaxed. As that funny music plays, as you zoom all the way through, feel what it feels like. Bang, and you're at the end. Back and safe, back and sound, feeling good. And you might even imagine now just being in that movie as that movie plays out for a different movie. And this time, once again, you're entering a garage. You have to find that little tennis racket right at the back of the garage. But hear that music now. Feel that sense of calm and relaxed as it washes over you now. As you can see yourself climbing over boxes and moving around objects to get to that thing right in the corner, where once in the past you would have had that old feeling. Hear that funny music playing. As you see yourself sitting in that cinema looking up, just feeling calm and relaxed about the situation. Knowing you no longer react in the old way, as your unconscious now has changed the way you think. To think calm and relaxed, just like going getting a cup out of the cupboard to make a cup of tea or get a glass of water. As your unconscious now can make you feel so relaxed, like just another day. Knowing that all the old learnings, the learnings that you learned in the past when you were once a child, don't need to be this way anymore. That you can just laugh and feel good. And once all that's integrated in, just allow that fully to integrate inside your mind. Just float out of that movie screen back into Laura and Lily sitting in the chair. Done. There you go. And what's that feel like now?
Nice and peaceful.
It is peaceful, isn't it? So this is the test. This is the time. What I want to do now is really just imagine going into the garage, getting something right at the back, and tell me how you feel now.
Well, I don't think anything yet, but I have to go into the garage to check.
Okay. So, I mean, I said to Bernie, we'll work together. We'll do this little bit of hypnosis, and we can leave it a week. Okay, because what I'd ideally report is that you've went to the garage 2 or 3 times, or during the week you came in late where you would have before, and there was no same feelings as in the past. Okay. But right now, what I'm hearing from you is in this short time, not even time because we started it, forgot to record the first time, but I'll be able to see how long the recording was. But in a short time, you feel a lot better now than you did before about spiders.
Yeah, well, I think so, yes. But like you say, I want to check it out.
Okay, just before we finish this, you think so. If there was any doubt inside your mind, where would that doubt be?
Like, what do you mean? Like your conscious?
When you say I think so, that means there's a bit of doubt that, has this really worked? Right now, you're trying to think of things where in the past, I mean, if anybody watching this rewinds to the beginning and when we were talking about spiders, you're going, oh, I remember the time. Now you're going, well, can't think of anything right now. I can't feel anything right now, but I have to go later. So we'll see if this really works. So that's a bit of doubt. And I just want to know where that doubt inside your mind would be.
It's in your conscious.
But whereabouts inside your mind? If you had to point exactly where that doubt was, where would that doubt be?
Here. Like
here. Okay, so once again,
What colour is that doubt inside your mind? Don't think
Like
about
green.
light green. So pull that green feeling out. Pull that doubt out so it's out here. Stretch your hands out so you get that doubt as far away from that head as possible. And when that doubt is outside your head and you think about going to the garage, how do you feel about that doubt now?
Okay.
Good stuff. Now we're going to test, so I want you to bring your hands, bring that doubt and put it back in there. And notice the difference when it's back in.
Okay.
Okay. We'll take it out again, just to be sure. I just want you to imagine now it's shrinking smaller and smaller. And for you, it might not just be shrinking, but it might be moving further away, because objects that are further away just seem to get even smaller. To the point where it's almost like a magician. It disappears. And when that doubt is gone, and you're sure,
Yeah.
notice what replaces that old green feeling, that feeling of confidence now inside your mind. And you might even put your hands there and feel a different color. Feel what it feels like now, to know where that, what confidence has replaced that doubt inside your mind. What's that?
Like
What's
nice
that?
yellow. Like yellow.
There you go. And feel that yellow strong. And I don't know if you're just aware of that color, or whether it maybe pulsates or vibrates, or it's just maybe there inside your mind. What's that like? Is it just present?
Yeah.
Maybe a warmth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So know that that confidence will grow. That yellow will replace all the old green feelings. Give you the confidence now. Even putting your hands there and trying to get that old black feeling back will be hard for you. Okay.
Okay.
So, do we want to do another call, or are you happy enough just to? Well, a call would be nice, just to say
Okay.
it's been. I mean, do you want to leave it a week or give it 2 or 3 days?
I get 2 or 3 days would be plenty, wouldn't it?
Good stuff. So it's Thursday today. We're filming this today on Thursday. So either Sunday or Monday. How's that?
Sunday, Monday. Yeah, that's fine. Monday's fine.
Good stuff. Well, do you want to set up a time? Say, I'm on a call about 12 o'clock. Would you be free on Monday?
On Monday. Okay. Yeah.
So 12 o'clock, we'll contact again. I'll send you another wee link, and we'll have a 2-minute chat just to say how's things been. If there's
Perfect.
any visual feelings, we'll work further. And if we're sorted, and right now, just looking at you, you seem a lot more confident. Just thinking about spiders. Yeah.
Okay.
So I look forward to getting the feedback. All right.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Just make sure I'm recording there. So it's been about 2 weeks since we worked together. And I'm just keen to know how things have been.
Well, funny, I think it was the day after, or 2 days after the last I was speaking to you, I was out cleaning the child's playhouse.
Yeah.
And I reached over a counter and I looked down and there was this big spider here. And I went, oh, there's a spider. And I leaned back and I went on, and it was only about 10 minutes later that I realised, here, I never jumped. I acknowledged that it was there, but it didn't jump.
Yeah.
Like it did. So that was the main one, but like there's been a few instances in between where it's the same thing. It's kind of just like there one is, but I don't.
Perfect. I mean, basically that's what I said. It's not that you'll go over, run up and hug a spider now.
And I'm sure if you put one on me, I will squeal. But I was saying that to my mom yesterday, and she said like she's not afraid of them, but if you put one on her, she'd probably squeal too.
And again, what about your mum? Has she noticed even when you came in and said, "Oh, saw a spider there," and it wasn't fussed? Did she give any feedback?
It was like the back. Yeah, it's the same thing, just over was good. Like
brilliant. I'm going to say almost that's us done, because
as I said before, it's not always one session, but for something like this here, I was quite confident of that there. But I just wanted to get your feedback. So I don't know if you want another wee pop-up session. And if you do, like I say, because I've got BT here on the premises looking at my broadband, we'll probably put that off to another time. And you're welcome to another session. But it sounds like already you're sorted.
I do feel like I'm okay now. Touch wood, hope not to be ringing you in like a week's time saying I need that top up. But
what's lovely is it's been a good 2 weeks. And again, I'm going to ask this question. I think I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask this question anyway, just because of the situation we're recording this. I want to make sure you're not just saying, this is on video, I'd better say yes, it's sorted. Are you really happy that it's sorted and you're a lot happier with the spiders now? And you're not going under some sort of peer pressure or video pressure because you're being recorded. Perfect. I can tell by your complexion and your story there that you were very happy with it. I just wanted to make sure. So delighted for you, and thanks very much.